Well, today I had a kick-ass fartlek day. As you can tell by the shine, got liquid awesome all over me. Kind of cool there. Recovery heart rate claims to be 144. Okay. Alright. Oh, I've got a lot to tell you guys today. We definitely whipped it up. Alright, 65 hours. Oh, I kicked butt today. Alright, that's over exceeding. As you can see, 7.04 miles. Average pace is 750. Oh, I shouldn't. Okay, we're still holding good. Oop. Alright, today is so chocolate milk day. I earned it. Alright, shower, chocolate milk. I'll see you guys soon. Hey, good morning guys. Welcome back to Thursday, Fartlek day, week 6. And what a day it was. You saw this morning, I definitely had some liquid awesome going on. And I told you guys about this either in my Tuesday video or last Saturday. I had a shirt about that. This is my shirt. It says just that. If you can read that. I got this actually when I ran Chicago in 2011, so that was kind of cool. And so I know I wore this on Tuesday, but totally forgot to talk about it. So I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you, let you know that there is a cool shirt like this. So if you want to get one of these, perhaps find them online, or just look for them at the expo during your the next in-town half marathon or full marathon event, wherever you run. So maybe look for those, because that's how I found this, and we'll go from there. As always, start out our morning with our shot of wheatgrass. Ooh, that's green. Alright, now that we get the worst part of my day over. Okay, not the worst part, but definitely the most unpleasant tasting part of my day. So with that, as you saw this morning, I had about 65 hours particury time. For those of you who have been following along, normally Thursdays are about a 44 hour recovery time. But as I talked about last Thursday, this week I definitely kicked it up. I kind of played around with it and definitely made it more intense. Last Thursday, you might remember, I did 600 meter intervals during the course of my 7-mile run. And I decided to go ahead and kick it up a notch, quite a few. And this morning, after my first mile warm-up, I did 100 meter intervals every half mile. So instead of 6 by 100 over 7 miles, I did 12 by 100 over 7 miles. And so I will admit, it definitely makes time go by a lot faster. A half mile gets a whole lot shorter when you don't have to run all half of it at an 8-minute pace. And you're just basically running the balance of your half mile at that pace. So quite interesting there. With that, let's go ahead and begin. First things as always, temperatures off. What I'm going to do on Saturday morning is, just as I always show you my watch after my runs, I'm going to go ahead and show you my phone before my run, and you'll understand the difference. What's the big deal with temperature? Well, for those who don't like the heat, it's a big deal. Me personally, I don't have a problem with the heat. My biggest issue, well, it's not big an issue, but my concern is, how does the heat affect the entire run? Does it help the run? Does it hurt the run? So that's where, for me, the whole heat comes in. And so, as you know, I've been recording just about every factor of this training cycle as I can, and so yeah, I think it is important to know exactly, based on the day you had, whether it was a good day or bad day, did the heat play into it at all, to your benefit or against you? So that's why I bring this up. And of course, this fall I'll be running in cooler temperatures. I'll get into more of that a little bit later on in training. And so that's definitely going to be my best friend. So running in the heat now is going to help me run even better in the cool. So with that, let's go ahead and begin. One moment. Get rid of my notices. I subscribe to other stuff. Again, today 7.04 miles. Average moving pace 750. Not too worried about that. Just lets you know that even during my recovery times, I wasn't quite doing 8s. And 764 calories, nice, as we talked about, temperatures off. And this is what I think was kind of fun, is you look at my blue line, which is my pace. I got all these neat little bumps all over it, so I think that's kind of neat. And so you can see I did 12. The white gap here, and the white gap there after my fourth one, that's only because I got stuck at a major street. And not so much stuck, but I'm all for a good game of Frogger, for those who remember that game Frogger by Atari. However, I don't have 3 lives, so my 1 life has to count. And so cars always win, which is fine because it gave me what, 5 or 10 seconds to kind of bring the heart rate down so I can get back in the game, which is fine. So that explains a little white gap there, but needless to say, you see these little bumps, and I like, again, I had a little heart rate spike thing this morning. I know we talked about that, so I took and wet my chest strap during my run. That fixed that. But I like the picture my heart drew, because it looks like waves in the ocean, so I think that's kind of neat. And coming down here, you can see I did really well. Average stride was 181. That's overall. I maxed out at 202. My training effect today, doing 12 of these things, definitely played into that, because my training effect turned out to be 4.8. And as we know, training effect 4.8, yeah, highly improving, almost to the point where I shouldn't be going that hard. This talks about my training effect. Uses your heart rate to measure the accumulated intensity of exercise on your aerobic fitness, and indicates if the workout had a maintaining or improving effect on your fitness level. Steady workouts at moderate effort or workouts involving longer intervals above 180 seconds have a positive impact on your aerobic metabolism and therefore produce an aerobic training effect. Okay, well, although my sprints took less than 180 seconds, we get the idea because I maintained the run altogether. Although this definitely plays into my half miles, which are 180 seconds, that's 3 minutes. And then of course our training effect here, right up there, almost hitting overreaching, but I kept it under the radar, so that's good there. So this helps us to understand why Garmin says I need 65 hours, not the 44 to 48 I normally end up acquiring on a Thursday run. Now, with respect to that, I'm not taking 65 hours off. We all know this. So what am I going to do? Tomorrow, I'll still run, but I'll definitely make sure I bring my heart rate down, maybe bring it down to about 150, make it a little easier. And then maybe same thing with my Saturday run. Not worry so much about a 155 heart rate, and maybe bring it down to 150 and just do the body the credit, give the body the break. Because last week's run, actually I should have recorded this and I didn't. My run after Wednesday, I definitely improved. I averaged about an 806 mile on a 154 heart rate. So yes, my heart rate has come down, and no, I don't have that information up. I didn't think about pulling that up, but my heart rate has come down, and my speed has come up. But ironically, Garmin said, "Oh, you have 28-hour recovery." 28-hour recovery on a 4-mile run? It's kind of high. Although the gym, because I go to the gym Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and yesterday was legs day, and I definitely picked that up a notch. So my legs were definitely fatigued, but I was happy they delivered. But even my gym time only required a 2-hour recovery. So if Garmin actually does add this up, yesterday's run would have added 26 hours to my recovery time. Though what confuses me is while I ran faster, my heart beat slower. So why does it take longer to recover? I don't quite understand the metrics they're using for that, but just thought I'd share that with you. So if that applied to today at all, technically yes, I came in 4 hours under recovered. And so did that contribute to things? I don't know, to be honest with you, because I felt pretty good. And you'll see here in a second, it looked pretty good too. However, going back to this, so we got 4.8 there. Yes, my best pace was 4:43. I'll pull that up. I was totally rocking on that one. Don't know what I was doing, or actually don't know what inspired that speed, but I wish I would have continued it. So I'll show you that here in a moment. And what we'll do is we'll go ahead and I'll just highlight these as we go. So my first mile, I came in at 8:39. That's fine. There was a small break here because I got stuck at the same street I got stuck at where that first blue gash gap. When I showed you earlier that the white gap in the middle of the blue for my pace, that same street I crossed that twice. And so the first time I got stuck with the cars there too for a little bit. However, you can see here my first one, fine. I got the 06 down. I had the counting thing down. 5:52. Okay, not too bad. Rolled into that one. Second one, 6:08. All right, what's going on here? That's not exactly getting better. Striding into this stuff. I really thought after Tuesday's run, I was just going to start rolling into these 5:30s. Clearly, my body didn't feel like doing it this morning. So then my third one, lost count a little bit, picked up a little extra speed or extra little distance. Okay, brought it down. Okay, almost better than my second, almost as good as my first. So I brought that one down. And then my fourth one. Okay, bring it down there. We're getting our head back in the game. I can appreciate that. Then this was that street I told you about up here. So cross that back over. This time lost count, but maybe that little break of about 0.8 seconds helped out because I pulled a 5:32. Pretty happy there. And yes, this is real. Let's go ahead and take a look at this for a moment because this was actually kind of cool. So we come up here and you can kind of see. Started out all right. Second one, head wasn't in the game. Okay, starting to get our game on. That's fine. And then which one was I on? I don't remember. And then this one, yeah. This one just totally rocked over these other ones, and you can see I can't count. I'll tell you that in a moment. Pull this up, and fine. Start out 8:02. Bring it down 5:36. Kept bringing it down, and for a period of 4 seconds, I was cruising along at 4:43, 4:44 over a period of 4 seconds. So that was really cool. Gotta admit, speed is cool. I'm not gonna argue there. So 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. So wait, that's my fifth one. Yeah, I think my fifth one was off. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's no 440. Was it? There's no 443 on this one. So yeah, I don't know where Garmin came up with that 443 because clearly this would have been that same run after the street gap, and yeah. But even then, I'm still cruising along in the 5 teens. I'm happy there. Anyhow, get back to this. So don't quite know where average moving pace was at. It's like weird. Then my next one. 6:10. Well, what happened? I'm falling back off the wagon here. So try to pick that back up. Come down. Now this is where it gets fun because I can't count. Somewhere along the line, I can't count my strides, and here you go. Here you go. Yeah, this was number 7. And for 8/10 of a mile or 800ths of a mile, I averaged 5:37. And yeah, this is that one I was showing you earlier with the 4:43. The cool spike. This was that one. So 4:43 clearly up here. I don't know how Garmin came up with that one other time because it didn't happen. But yeah, I'd like to know what I was doing that time because I wouldn't mind repeating that for the rest of the trip. So anyhow, then we come down to our next one. Okay, I get my count back on, 5:47. Okay, I'm figuring fatigue is probably setting in here. Okay, I can accept that. Next one, 5:39. All right, get my head back in the game. Again, every time I'm doing my best to push myself. Top pace here, this is like off. I don't know. I don't quite always understand how they come up with this because if I really hit that for like a split second, when we enlarge, no, hang on, because when we enlarge this, it doesn't show. It simply doesn't show that. So, but then again, if we look at it, 5:54, 56, 53, so 3 seconds, 3 seconds. So, I mean, maybe I hit that for like 1 second, but because this seems to move in about seconds, like 3 and 5, or like 4 and 5 seconds each, it's not recording that for whatever reason. So maybe it happened, all I know is the blue graph doesn't show that. So, going back to here, again, not quite certain what I'm doing. I can't seem to count. To be honest with you, I don't know where the distraction came in or what happened there, because I'm clearly losing count. But that's fine. I'd rather run farther than shorter. But anyhow, again, 5:37, so picked up 2 seconds. Even though I ran a little farther, picked up 2 seconds. I can live with that. And assuming there's any truth to this stuff whatsoever, okay, not bad. Next time, wow, I still can't count. And brought it 5:45. Okay, getting a little tired. I get that. My last one, I get my count back on, bring it down to 5:40. Now, something that crossed my mind when I first looked at all this data was, well, maybe I'm doing that 70 stride count, but my strides are longer. So I went and looked at this. Now you come over here, and you can see briefly, well, yeah, some of these I'm hitting over 1.5 meter stride with some of these. But for the most part, my strides were realistically within reason. And so even between these two, if I count out 70 strides, assuming I can count, the 300ths, the 300ths of a meter difference doesn't add up. So clearly I just can't count. I accept that. However, you're running down the street, you're trying to remember, okay, 10, you lose count, whatever. I'd rather go farther than shorter, so I can live with that. And then heart rate, even though I'm doing this more frequently, I can't complain. I really can't complain, because my heart rate, although it peaked here, it peaked after my 11th one at 178, because as we talked about before, although I stopped the watch here, my heart rate may have still climbed, and of course this lap gets to pay for it. So so the heart rate maybe peaked at 178. I chilled out to 171, and that's fine. I kept in the low 170s. Would like to see it lower, but all things considered, I'm doing this more frequently, so I'm not going to complain. I'm not going to complain. I'm really happy for the most part with these numbers here. And so that kind of wraps up today. I mean, I did a great day. Again, we have our stats. We need, at least we know for a fact that was realistic, because I showed you that. So I'm happy there. Training effect, I'm definitely making the most of things. So although I'm pushing the line per se on some of this stuff, I can feel good knowing that whatever happens by the time week 16 does arrive, that I spent 16 weeks carefully giving my all so that I could be in the best possible shape for my next run, or my next marathon. So at least I can feel good about that. Now, something else I want to share with you guys. You might remember from our Saturday run that I talked about race fueling, how to go ahead and fuel up so you don't bonk and all that kind of stuff. But since then, on my Facebook, Scottsdale Sports Medicine, I've talked about these guys before. They're the ones that did my VO2 max 4 years ago, and so of course I subscribed to their post, and the doctor went ahead and posted this, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in the description section of today's video. And this really coincides with what we talked about. How I talked about when it comes to race day, fueling early, fueling often, because it's going to take time to get those goo gels into your bloodstream. And here, it clearly supports the idea that as you really peak out, this does affect or damage your gastric mobility, because as we shared on Saturday, your digestive system will slow down. It just does. And this article here, again, like I said, I'll go ahead and post this so you guys can read it, pull it up yourself. This article here goes into a medical explanation as to what happens when you exceed 70% or greater of your peak output. That's like me every time I run. So so keep this in mind. And so if you are planning to do any sort of distance run, be it a half or a full, any run to where you're going to ingest goo gels or something like that mid-run, read this and get yourself more acquainted with running as you, or fueling up as you run. Get into the practice of that so that your digestive system is conditioned to handle that kind of demand during the course of your run. So go ahead and read up on that. Feel free to ask any questions on this. I'll be happy to talk to you guys on this. Now, then also today's run, something else I'm going to share with you guys. Today's run, I was listening to, I'll put these guys' link in this too. This is one of a handful of podcasts I've subscribed to via iTunes. Just fortunately that he puts the video or the audio track on YouTube as well. And Tiësto, I listened to this specific one today only because it's one of those that when you go through your iPod, it's one of those that you just hadn't listened to yet, so I chose to listen to it. And I give him credit. This really helped me out with the first half of my run. The second half of this, in my opinion, kind of slows down a little bit, which is fine because it really helps you to keep your 8-minute pace during your recovery jog per se, during your intervals or your speed work. But the first half definitely helps get your head in the game. It really did. I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the beat. For the most part, electronic dance music, Tiësto, Armin van Buuren, and a couple of the guys. These guys are normally what I listen to when I run, simply because the beat is consistent. I tried mixing and matching my music as I went, but at least in the beginning. But my problem, for me, the problem was every music or every song has its own tempo, and some jazz you up, others, they make you think. And I wanted something more consistent that went with my run. So I got into this. I'll post this as well in the description center section of today's video or on the page. So go ahead and feel free to take a listen to that, see if that's something that works for you. If not, that's fine. Just want to share with you what I've been up to. But that wraps it up for today. If you have any questions, feel free to post them below, questions and comments. I'll be happy to address those. Be certain to like today's video if you like today's video. And if you're new to the channel, be certain to hit the subscribe button, because every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday I post a new running video on my journey towards my first sub-3-hour marathon. So that's it for me today. You guys have yourself a great day, and I'll see you Saturday.